Joining me now for more is National Geographic editor Kristin Romey. Kristin, thanks so much for taking the time. Right off the bat, we understand that even if the Titan has surfaced, the crew can't get themselves out.
Yeah, that's correct, Phil. They are literally bolted into this vessel. So even if it comes to the surface, they have to find it before the air runs out in order to actually physically remove the passengers using an exterior team.
So if the Titan is in fact at the bottom of the sea, can rescuers reach them in time with the amount of oxygen they have left?
Well, it's a question of what assets are already available. I mean, if you have ships steaming out from, say, from Newfoundland, you're talking of a distance of LA to Phoenix already. So it's going to take vessels a time to get there. But from what I understand, the research vessel, the support vessel, has two of these remotely operated vehicles. These are unmanned underwater robots that could be sent to the bottom to investigate and try and locate the submersible. And there are other vessels in the area now that also equally have these robots that they are sending to scour the seafloor using technology that they use for oil pipelines to try and find the Titan.
Talk to us, if you can, for just a second about the conditions that far below the surface.
You know, 12,500 feet below the surface is not a place that humans were ever meant to be. And everything conspires to kill you down there. When you consider it, that the pressure alone at that site is the equivalent of 400 times of what you have on the surface. If you were sitting on the beach with a can of Coca-Cola, that can of Coca-Cola would be crushed like a ball at the very bottom of the Titanic. And it is that carbon fiber titanium sphere that is protecting the people that are going down to the site. Now, whether or not that hull was compromised, again, is one of the issues that we are trying to understand with this really terrible and ongoing situation.
And as we're learning more about this submersible, we understand it's steered with a video game controller. Talk to us about that.
You know, this was a point of contention across social media, being like, how can we trust this if they're if they're driving the thing with a PlayStation 5 controller? But what few people are aware of is that the U.S. military has happily embraced this kind of technology. We are operating drones, we are firing lasers, we are even operating periscopes on U.S. Navy submarines using similar technology. So I don't think that should be any sort of point of concern. I think more it should come as a surprise of how much off-the-shelf technology is being used in extreme exploration nowadays.
We learned today that one of the 5 people on board is the CEO of OceanGate, Stockton Rush. I understand you've interviewed him before, so can you talk to us a little bit about him and his vision for the company?
Stockton, when I spoke to him in 2016 for an interview in National Geographic, at the time he was working on a submarine Cyclops, which was kind of the predecessor to Titan. And his enthusiasm was, boundless. I'm a fellow of the Explorers Club. I deal a lot with polar explorers, underwater explorers, space explorers, and Stockton really stood out for his energy and his enthusiasm. And we were really pulling for him when he was, talking about creating this novel carbon fiber sub to plumb the depths.
You had said just a few minutes ago that where the Titanic is not a place that humans were meant to be. So just I ask you just before we go, do you think it's possible to visit the Titanic in any kind of safe way, or is it always going to be this dangerous?
I think you're going to have a lot of scientists who say that we don't need to send people down to the Titanic at all. We don't need to do it for science. And anytime people go down in these manned submersibles, they could cause damage to the wreck, and they could, endanger their own lives. So we have to ask, why are we putting people down to the Titanic when we could put robots down there?
Well, even as we say that, of course, we're all pulling for the best possible outcome here. National Geographic editor Kristin Romey, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.